Live from wherever you are, Dean Blundell, and wherever I am. This is the FiveStack, brought to you by Ground News, groundnews.com/FiveStack. It's where you get 40% off right now if you use the code FiveStack, groundnews.com/FiveStack. Hey,
well
Dean,
done.
how was your weekend?
Way to crush the partner intro. Very good. My weekend was good. Busy watching Trump go full taco.
There's so much news.
There's so much news, my South African friend. There's so much news. Yeah, welcome to the FiveStack. We've got 5 major breaking news stories, and all of them, with the exception of one, gave me a whiplash. Like every single one. And we're well, you know what I mean? Like it's just there's things that this guy does, that his regime does, where you're like, if it's anybody else, it's an impeachable / pull you out of office offense. But it happens so much that you're like, whatever. Like this war with Iran, where we won, we're losing, we're begging for help. We don't need your help. We're demanding help. We're just gonna blow it up and leave. You got 2 days, and then today we're now at we got a negotiated peace deal. And Iran's like, what?
With whom? I call it the ghost talks because there's no one to talk to. So whoever he's talking to is either a figment of your imagination or his imagination, which is possible with this president. I mean, you have to say that. It's actually possible that he's talking to nobody, which has happened before with other presidents, by the way. But also
not like this. Not like this.
This is a new one.
I guess, I get object permanence. A lot of people would be there. I still have a conversation with my dad sometimes. He's kind of always there. He passed away several years ago, so I'll have these little mini conversations with my dad. Donald Trump had an entire 2-day negotiating session with the entire Iranian regime that no one knew about, including the Iranian regime. Now, that's something.
Yes, that is something. And the president is fine. Everyone just don't panic. The president is fine. He's just imagining his conversations with Iranian officials. And we'll get into the details of those, those negotiations as far as we could tell what they are. But, typical of everything that Donald Trump imagines, he thinks those talks are going great and it's almost over and no problem. Everything's going to be fine.
Can I just insert this idea before we get into the 5 biggest stories of the day? If my bribery life, my business life, my crypto life, my future earnings life, my entire net wealth was literally predicated on a region that I accidentally lit on fire. Oops. I probably would invent an imaginary negotiation. It would probably be on Truth Social. Okay, probably.
Yeah.
It's okay, everybody. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Go back to the gas will come down and you're good. I had this conversation. I would have a very hard time standing in front of a microphone like he did today on his way to Memphis and go, yeah, we had secret talks. No one knew about it because they're all dead. And you're like, what? Well,
It's
can't tell you who we talked to over there. Witkoff did it. Witkoff and Jared.
We're really get into all of that.
Can you tell us who they talked to? No, they might die.
In my mind, they might die, or the Israelis might kill them. I mean, that's the other option: is that these possible Israelis are just killing everyone we're talking to.
He did say that.
Yeah. So that's the state of the world right now. There is actually a lot of
other
news.
stories.
There are lots of other news. Did you know that Barry Manilow is making a comeback album at 82?
Did you know that when I saw you put this on the prep sheet today, I laughed my ass off?
Because I was expecting you to
laugh. Of course, you're a fucking Manilow fan. And did you know Celine Dion is coming back too? No,
Celine Dion. Yeah. Celine Dion is a goddess. I love Celine Dion.
Of course she is.
She is. I love her.
I know you do. Your heart will go on. Do you sit there at night? Will you put on The Power of Love sometimes?
Sometimes I belt it out myself along with her. We do like a duet, her and I, and it's just Donald Trump and the peace talks. It's just me and Celine, and it's beautiful.
You wanted to take a break from us being on a heater talking about Trump settling an imaginary war to announce that Manilow was coming out with an album at 82 and Celine Dion was coming back on tour.
It's a miracle. It's God smiling down on us. I'm so excited about both of those events.
That's God smiling on you. That's
Yeah.
not us. That's you. You love Manilow. You love Celine. I don't like either. No.
Yeah. No, why you can't. Look, I met Celine a few times. She is lovely. I spent a lot of time with her when I was working at Entertainment Tonight Canada. She's lovely. So I got backstage to her. She's really one of those nice, celebrities are actually quite nice behind the scenes.
Yeah. Okay.
She's one of those people. She's genuinely like pleasant and a professional.
That's good. I'm happy for you. I'm waiting. Yeah, well, we're like the Dickens. Yeah. But so, I'm still waiting to get to the news of the day. I was shocked that you put Manilow and Celine Dion in today's rundown.
I just wanted to see your reaction.
Well, there you go. You got it.
Okay, we'll get to the number 5 story, which is actually breaking news right now. Of course, it's a very serious story. We're starting off with breaking news out of New York. Last night at 11:40 p.m. on an air traffic controller at LaGuardia Airport cleared a Port Authority fire truck to cross an active runway. Then he tried to take it back. He screamed, "Stop," at least 10 times, but it was too late. Air Canada Express flight 8646, a CRJ 900, coming in from Montreal at 150 miles per hour, slammed into the fire truck on runway 4. It's the first fatal accident in LaGuardia since 1992. There's lots of interesting new developments in that story. Both pilots, as you might have known already, have been killed. They died instantly. 41 passengers and a crew were hospitalized. 9 still in hospital. Some are seriously injured. Now, a flight attendant, Solange Tremblay, was ejected from the aircraft while still strapped to her seat. She was thrown dozens of feet outside the plane. Broken leg, needs surgery, and her daughter told the Quebec broadcaster, "It's nothing short of a miracle. She really does have a guardian angel." It is a remarkable survival story, and that's of course the story you're looking at in the banner there. But it's. We'll play the audio in a second, but I know you've got so much details around what happened. It's all on deanblundell.substack.com. So catch us up on this harrowing flight. These Canadians who had to endure this flight all the way to LaGuardia, and then, of course, with TSA troubles down there. This crash landing.
It was an Air Canada flight, CRJ 900. It's kind of their smaller jets. They're two rows on either side. It's a passenger jet usually used for domestic and short haul travel in the United States and here in Canada. Left Montreal, landed at LaGuardia on runway 4, doing, as you said, 130 to 150 miles per hour. At the time, this fire truck was being asked to respond to another emergency on the other side of this runway. It was a Delta flight that reported noxious fumes and smoke. And so the air traffic controller said, you guys go run across this runway. At that time, Air Canada flight 8646 Jazz Aviation, it's kind of the low budget version of Air Canada, is landing, and it hammers that truck. I've seen the video, the CCTV. It's what you think it would be when you see the entire nose and cockpit sheared off of a jet like that. It was a very fucking serious impact. The 2 gentlemen that were in the actual fire truck are in the hospital. They are in stable condition. They seem to be okay, but as you pointed out, the damage was done. 72 passengers, 4 crew aboard, 60 were transported to hospital, 9 remain with serious injuries. The Air Canada flight was landing on runway 4, as we said. You heard the guy scream, "Stop, stop, stop." We're going to get that in just a second. Poor guy's got to live with this for the rest of his life. After the crash, the controller said 3 words: "I messed up." You might actually hear that in here as well. 33 million passengers a year. It was shut down until around 2 p.m. today. And this is 43 days into a government shutdown. It's the longest U.S. in history. Every air traffic controller in America is working without pay. Controller retirements went up to from 4 a day to 15 to 20 per day during the shutdown. Some have just walked off the job. That accounts for about 3,500 controllers short of staffing minimums before the shutdown began. 40% of major facilities operating below safe staffing levels. And if you remember, Doge fired about 400 FAA employees back in February 2025. Safety inspectors, engineers, certification staff, etc., including emergency response guys in the air traffic controlling towers. 97 runway incursions recorded January 26. This is just in January 26 alone. January 2025, you remember, the 67 people died when that Army helicopter hit American Airlines near the Reagan International Airport. This is a culmination of not having staff to respond properly to two simultaneous emergencies. One emergency he was being asked to follow up on. There's another emergency, so they just send this fire truck across a runway that's active. Boom, you've got your accident. There should be one air traffic controller per critical emergency at every airport, depending on what's going on, specifically when it comes to bringing airplanes into a landing position or into a taking off position, et cetera, et cetera. So it is Trump's America. And now we have two dead Air Canada pilots. We have several Canadians who are still in the hospital. We have a bunch of people who aren't coming home, the same way that they left. And like I said, the two pilots who passed away. And then, of course, this flight attendant who, not as you pointed out, nothing short of a miracle, ejected in her seat. These are some of the more fantastic stories, but you always want to dig down into what the actual impetus for this was. And it's the fact that they're 40% below their staffing levels at LaGuardia Airport. They don't have people. Air traffic controllers are not responding. They're not coming to work. They have to go get other jobs because they have not been paid in 43 days.
Yeah, that is a very important context to add to the story. Already, travelers at LaGuardia endured hours of waiting in line and security entries. TSA staffing shortages have caused a major shutdown of all the normal expected services that you'd expect from TSA. So you've got these hours-long waits. You've got these air traffic controllers, and you can, if you've been to LaGuardia, and I know you have, it's a crush. It's a small, messy airport. So many planes arriving all at the same time. Anything will throw that off. So add hours of people waiting in line to get their passports checked or whatever it is they're getting into security, or their luggage checked, and add to that the lack of security in the air, not knowing exactly if these planes could land. Imagine the stress level at LaGuardia as all of that compounds on top of each other, and it's all due to Trump, as you say, and we'll get to that in a minute, because he had an opportunity to kill it all. He didn't. He could have had all the TSA people back at work by today had he agreed to the Senate deal, but he's on some sort of, ridiculous crusade for Jesus Christ, which we'll also get to in a second. But, I'm going to play the audio, but at least want to jump in before we get to the audio of the air traffic controller.
No, I can't imagine living. Like, if you hear the audio, you can hear the panic in this guy's voice. He knows what's going to happen. And if you've seen the accompanying video, you know how stressful this has got to be for this dude, who will probably never work again. I mean, aside from getting fired, you just can't do this kind of thing as an air traffic controller. But living with the idea that you just caused this because you're tired, because you're underpaid, you're working without actually getting paid, and you're showing up. I mean, I could not imagine a fate worse than death for this poor guy. Anyway, let's have a listen.
Yeah. We'll respond to you now.
Is the runway closed?
Del 2603, go around. Runway heading 2000.
Right, 2000, go around. Del 2603.
Tower.
Truck through 2. Runway 4 is closed, correct?
Yep. Go on to runway 4 now. Proceed on runway 4. You have access. Frontier 4195. I got the word that we're going to be closed for a little while. If you want to prepare to return to the ramp, let me know.
Yeah, we got stuff in progress for that, man. That wasn't good to watch.
Yeah, I know. I was here. I tried to reach out to my stuff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier, and I messed up.
No, man, you did the best you could.
This clip not in real time.
That's not the. That's actually not the main clip, but it's interesting on its own. That's the clip that contains the "we messed up" piece of it, which is so, telling that they were able to admit that. I mean, that is a remarkable thing. You'd never get the president admitting that he's done anything wrong. But here is an air traffic controller saying they messed up, and it's an indication of how the environment is. Everyone saying you did the best you could. I mean, it sort of gets you a sense of how these air traffic controllers are feeling at the moment. They're sort of fighting against hope here. Something like this was bound to happen. We were all expecting it.
Yeah, and keep in mind, air traffic controllers, I think they've got the second highest burnout rate of any profession in the world. Number one is being an ambulance attendant. Number two is being an air traffic controller. I mean, these are people that are landing hundreds of thousands of people a week, tens of thousands of people a day, that have to get it right all the time. They got to be perfect all the fucking time. And for that guy to say he messed up is one thing. And you bring that up like it's a throwaway, but I think it's something worth noting. Is that you just watch the president of the United States start a war, kill thousands of people, and he's like, we're just going to negotiate our way out of it. I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he's lit the entire fucking world on fire. And to your point, the reason why that gentleman messed up, exhausted, Again, working with no incentive, number one. Number two, and I think what's really important to remember, specifically when you're talking about what happened, and this is an Air Canada flight, obviously, it hits close to home being from Canada, and Air Canada being our official airline. It always sucks to see a Canadian airplane like this get into an accident like this where people have lost their lives. However, having said all of that, last weekend, John Thune had a deal with the Democrats, the Republicans and the Democrats, to end this lockdown this past weekend. I think it was on Saturday. So they took the deal to Donald Trump and they're like, hey, listen, here's the deal. And I'll tell you where the actual frustration is for a lot of people today who've read between the lines. There was a deal in place to fund the TSA and fund DHS minus funding ICE. Okay. There's going to be another conversation about how they would fund ICE and what they would fund. And the triggers in there are they can't wear masks. They have to be easily identifiable, and they have to, be a law enforcement organization that pays attention to the rules of the law. Donald Trump doesn't want that. So he's telling them to go fuck themselves. And then he added some transgender stuff to this bill. And part of this bill now that the Democrats refuse to sign, we're seeing play out at airports across the United States of America, because those TSA agents, it's a great tie-in, those TSA agents that aren't going to work are now being filled in for and with ICE agents. And we're starting to see that. I think 15 different airports in the United States today. Was actually really cool. You're watching ICE agents with no masks.
I know they're all going to get, completely, what's the word?
Doxed.
Doxed, yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe.
They're going to get all done. But
but no masks. No masks. And those same ICE agents are now doing this other job that he wants to give $150 billion to, while asking for $200 billion so he can continue to attack Iran, which he said is over. Meanwhile, he is refusing to pay air traffic controllers, TSA agents, et cetera, et cetera. It is a fucking wild circle of stupidity.
It is a wild circle of stupidity, but it's so indicative of what's going on with this presidency. It's all chaos, right? I mean, it's just put out fires wherever you can. Of course, people are going to die in that situation because the system can only handle so much. And what you're saying there about Senate Majority Leader John Thune having an agreement with Chuck Schumer that would have actually funded TSA, and for the president to step in there and say absolutely no ways. He rejected the deal, not by calling or anything like that. He did it on Truth Social, which is ridiculous, of course. And then, while you had this attempt, good faith attempt by the Congress, by the people representing the people of America to get TSA running again, because everyone knows how serious it is. Instead of agreeing with that, like any normal president would do, because this is a headache for him. This whole thing is going to be a nightmare as he gets into the spring. And he's okay with shutting it all down, not giving Democrats the win at all, not allowing the TSA to get refunded, get funded. And what you land up with is a crash and 2 people dead. And, who wants to travel in the United States right now as we head into spring break, as we head into the summer holidays? No one is going to want to travel because it's just too dangerous. And you can't take the car because gas is so expensive.
Yeah, great foresight there, huh? I mean, You turn the screws on people traveling on airplanes and going to airports. You fuck over an entire country up here in Canada, so we do $10 billion in damage to your tourist economy. And then you understaff your airports. And at LaGuardia, you crash an Air Canada Jazz aviation plane, and people die, and now no one's going to travel. And that was what I put in my post today. I'm like, you don't travel to the United States, it's not worth it. And I had a conversation with Steve Schmidt about this today, and we were talking about his travel, and he's like, yeah, there's just, I know how to manage an airport, but at the same time, it's like, it's egregious. He understands it. He knows what's going on in the United States of America. And to your point, Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck if that lasts, to the point where he said to Senator Thune, he's like, listen, I want to fight with the Democrats. We need to keep blaming this on them. We need this leverage. So no, I'm not going to sign this deal to get security workers and TSA workers and air traffic controllers paid so they can go back to work. I don't care how dangerous flying the fucking friendly skies of the United States are. I don't care if we have idiots that are crashing planes into other planes. I don't care how safe air travel isn't in the United States for any American or anybody coming here. Because It's more important to me that I look like I fucking win this fight. And it's really important to me that I get to send ICE agents to the fucking scene of the crime. And the scene of that crime is where ICE agents should be in the fucking first place, just not these ICE agents, because these ICE agents are not trained to do any TSA work, any screening, none of that. They're trained for customs and border enforcement. Well, they're now at the air borders. They're now at every airport in the United States of America, save, 30 of them. I think they're at about 15 to 20 as of today. It's where they should be. But none of them are trained to do that.
Yeah.
None of them.
It's going to be a disaster. These guys, as we've seen, they're not equipped to deal with the public at all. So to watch them in these situations with their, bias training and their Christian nationalism and everything else that they bring to the job, and their ability, in fact, their instinct to hide things. I mean, everything about them is a cover-up. Every time something happens, they try to hide it. That is not the way an airport can operate. You need total transparency. So these ICE agents who are now going to be there, does that solve the problem? Absolutely not. It might even compound the problem because they don't know what they're doing. What do you can send them in there, but they don't know their way around the airport. They don't know anything about air traffic control. They don't know anything about it very much, it seems, at all, judging by their intelligence levels. Are they going to be any help? Maybe optically, but not really.
Well, see, and that's the point, right? Like, I've seen all the videos today. I saw a video of a woman who said that, she had her papers with her and they arrested her, beat the shit out of her, put her in a chair. So I saw ICE agents do that. I also saw ICE agents literally saying hi to kids and waving to people as they walk through fucking food courts. This little girl walks up to another ICE agent. She's like, "Where's the TGI Fridays?" She's like, "It's down there, honey. You have a great day. There's a Starbucks too." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I watched 10 ICE agents literally on the mezzanine like this with their hands on their heads on their hands going, "I don't know what the fuck we're doing here, but we're here. Here we go." So I've seen all the visuals, but what's amazing is none of them are wearing masks. Yeah. And Steve and I were talking about it today. I'm like, "Do you know the impetus for that?" He goes, "No," but it's like one of the reasons why. Yeah,
he says he did it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
He did it. Well, he also told everybody that he invented ICE, just like the guy who invented the paperclip 182 years ago invented the paperclip.
We've got that clip.
And
Should we listen to that?
Oh my God! Did you not see this today?
I didn't see that, but I am dying to hear it. Let's listen to Donald Trump about the paperclip.
We're dealing really mine. That was mine. That was like the paperclip. You know the story of the paperclip? 182 years ago, a man discovered the paperclip. It was so simple. And everybody that looked at it say, "Why didn't I think of that?" ICE was my idea.
I think you like the paperclip. I invented ICE. She asked whose idea was to put him at the airport. He's like, "Me." Then he goes into this fucking like crazy dementia diatribe. He's like, "You ever hear of the paperclip?"
He said it's like the story of the paperclip. He didn't say it is the story of the paperclip.
But here's the thing. It's not like the story of the paperclip. And the story of the paperclip, I hate to tell you, is only 157 years old. It's not 182 years old. So he was wrong off the top. Sorry, 159
just rounding up a little.
Samuel Fay invented the paperclip, and it was by accident and not Donald Trump. And he also did invent ICE. That was invented 23 years ago by George Bush, if you remember that correctly. So there you go.
Is that really George Bush did that? I didn't know that.
Yep.
I am trying to get into this other story that I won't really want to play, but I'm gonna jump to number 2. We'll get back to number 3. This was actually going to be number 4. This one we had now. But it's a bit
back and forth
today.
and back and forth. We can do it.
So let's get into SCOTUS next, which is actually story number. Let's just call it story number 3. That's what it says here.
Sure.
So it was very important meeting today, hearing today at the Supreme Court. It's not Congress. The Supreme Court heard oral arguments today in a case that could eliminate mail-in ballot grace periods in 18 states and territories, just in time for the November midterms. Now, they've had the hearings today. It's really interesting conversation if you or cross-examination if you're into that kind of stuff. The RNC is challenging Mississippi's law, which was passed by Mississippi's own Republican legislature, that counts ballots postmarked by Election Day, but arriving up to 5 days later. Only 3 liberal justices appeared sympathetic to Mississippi's position, which means, we could see that this may actually succeed, and that the ability to do mail-in voting and it being counted after election day could be cut back. I'm going to play you some clips from the New York Times from the hearings, but go ahead if you want to say anything first about this, and then we'll jump into the rest of it.
No, I want to get into these clips, but I also want everybody to remember that this is part of the SAVE Act, right? And the SAVE Act is just this enormous go fuck yourself. We don't want you voting. If you're black, if you're trans, if you're a woman, if you've undergone a name change, we want you to stay as far away from the polls. So who traditionally votes for those Democrats is marginalized people of color, people from different marginalized communities, and women. So just so you know, very important. And this piece is really important because people who are smart will vote by mail.
Right.
And the reason why I'm bringing that up, and the people who are smart, generally speaking, don't vote for fascist assholes. They can read between the lines. They don't believe in populism. So this is absolutely a really important strategy, and he's found a willing conversation in the Supreme Court. Let's play these clips, and then we can kind of get into it if you can.
And it won't let me play them. How's that?
What?
You know, I don't know. We need a producer. We need a real guy who knows how to do these things. I don't mind pretending, but I am not a producer. So I'm going to try to get these for you guys because I really want you to hear them. And you're not hearing any of this, right?
Nothing. No.
Okay, we'll get back to it in a second. While we do what? Why don't we tell people about Ground News? You got the best ever story of why you love
while I get
News.
reoriented, let's do the sponsor read. Ladies and gentlemen, this is brought to you by this jump around fucking FiveStack is brought to you by our friends over at Ground News. groundnews.com/FiveStack. You can hear my dog barking in the back. She's really excited for you because you're going to get 40% off having your very own news Sherpa. Your very own news Sherpa. What does that mean? What does Ground News do that others don't? They don't tell you the story they want you to read. They give you the story, and they'll tell you who's reading it, who isn't reading it, why they're reading it, and what side of the equation. Are they left? Are they right? Are they centrist? Are they progressive? And it has this beautiful thing called Blind Spot where you can actually challenge yourself when it comes to the bias that you're reading. Listen, I was a client of Ground News a long time ago. I'm still a client of Ground News. I still pay for the service for the same reason you're going to get the service, because someone gave me 40% off with a promo code about a year and a half ago. And I was so excited to use these guys. They make my life so much easier. Everything that I do at Substack, deanblundell.substack.com, is powered by our friends over at Ground News. So if you go to groundnews.com/FiveStack, again, groundnews.com/FiveStack, you can be powered by them and feel really good about the information you take in and the conversations that you have, which is so important today. You don't want to be one of those disinformation guys at the party going, oh, yeah, well, I heard this from these guys. No. You can point to Ground News. You don't have to these guys anything. You don't have to my uncle something, or I overheard, or I seen. That's one of my favorite things. I seen it on the news. No, you didn't see nothing. You can go to groundnews.com/FiveStack. 40% off your annual subscriptions. Trust me, you will love them as much as I do. And you're welcome from your friends at the FiveStack and groundnews.com.
That was really good.
You're welcome. Excellent. Did I give you enough time?
You gave me enough time. I still could have solved the problem because I was so enchanted by everything you were saying that I just didn't. But I am thrilled that you shared that with us because no one could do it better than you. That was really good. It's true. Let's get into number 2 then, and then we'll get to some of this other clips later on as we get there. At number 2, while 2 pilots lay dead in LaGuardia, the White House was busy this weekend installing monuments, a 13-foot replica of the Christopher Columbus statue that was torn down in Baltimore in 2020, rebuilt using pieces of the original, now stands on the White House grounds, fenced off from the public. They also reinstalled the Confederate General Albert Pike, his statue, at least not him, in Washington. So, what is that story all about? Confederation
Yes.
And colonialism and white nationalism and yay, Columbus.
Yay! All that herpes and syphilis you brought over from Spain. Thanks, Chris, you prick. This is one of those conversations I actually enjoy having with people when we start talking about tearing down statues, right? I love progress, But America was kind of lied to when you were told that in 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. He was the first person here. It's the greatest. No. Yes, he came over. But let me explain something. A lot of Americans say, you were lied to. Huh? The Vikings were here first. Some would say the Romans were here first. A lot of people say the Knights Templar were here first. A lot of people say that the French were here first. However, here's no, this
I don't know about the Knights Templar, but that's interesting.
Oh, for sure, Oak Island and Lonzo Meadows up in Nova Scotia, all the way down into Maine and Nantucket. Oh yeah, dude, yeah. Not to mention America's first people. The indigenous people of the United States of America.
They definitely were here first.
I don't know, a couple 100,000 years, kind of slugging it out while you guys are like, look what we've found. Let's give them all syphilis and kill them with our herpes. That's what they did. That's what Christopher Columbus did, the Spanish Inquisition. And you know what the indigenous people of America did? They killed almost all of them.
Yeah.
They took them almost all out, and they dispersed and kind of went all over the place. Christopher Columbus was an explorer. He was no fucking hero. However, in the United States of America, specifically Trump's United States of America, I actually applaud the return of the Christopher Columbus statue, because to me, that's truly what America was built on. A lie that you are currently suffering from every day. The flotsam and jetsam of a fake reality that you're the biggest and the best country in the world. Listen, I'm literally watching your leader invent imaginary stories about negotiations with Iranians that haven't happened because he can't stop shooting $4 million missiles at $10,000 drones, and he's out of ammo because he's a terrible fucking leader. Your economy is in the fucking toilet. Have you looked at the stock market? We're only allowed to talk about Epstein if the Dow is below 50,000, according to Pam Bondi. Well, guess what? We're firmly in Jeffrey Epstein conversation territory. The United States of America is over. But it was over when they decided, like, listen, let's get rid of all the indigenous people's history. Let's get rid of all the other history. Christopher Columbus, that's our new origin story. He's a great guy, right? Someone in the corner is like, I don't know. He killed and enslaved a lot of indigenous people and introduced STDs and STIs to an entire population. Do we want to reward that? Trump's like, you're goddamn right we do. Huh? West Mall, right in the White House lawn. Can
I agree with some of that, which is, important. I think that Columbus statue I don't think we should be tearing down statues unless they really, really are like awful. I mean, in most cases, history is not quite about the way things are now. Like if it's a
Jeffrey Dahmer statue?
I don't think, and it's Jeffrey Dahmer. No, we don't want that. But Christopher Columbus, he did actually do something remarkable for the world, and you might disagree with it, but he did do something for the time. He got his statue up, and he deserved to have it up probably at the time. If we cut down everything that happened in history because it's not the same as we are right now, we'll have no history books. We'll have nothing to go back to. So
I completely agree. We're doing the same thing here in Canada. We got rid of these Sir John A. Macdonald statues.
Yeah.
We got rid of like the Ryerson statue. We got rid of the like Seneca statues here in and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Why are we doing this? Like, why aren't we keeping those there as a reminder of the progress that we've all made? Yeah. Like that person had a role to play. I mean, the Arc de Triomphe in France, you know who built that, right? Napoleon, world-class asshole. And after Napoleon was done, they're like, let's keep it up. This was part of our history as well.
Pretty. Also.
And it's really fucking cool and big. I've been in it. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
And I had to take the stairs, by the way, folks. That's the shitty part. Arc de Triomphe, you got to take
all the way inside.
Yeah, and I vomited when I got to the top. My girlfriend's like, you okay? I'm like, not so much.
All over Napoleon's artwork there. That's good.
I left a little bit of myself. But to your point, and I completely agree, I just think that Donald Trump isn't doing this to pay homage to the incredible story of America. He's doing this to rewrite history and force his version of history as opposed to any other version of U.S. history. And that's the shitty part.
He's only interested in white history. If the person is white, then they'll, listen, I have a smidgen of sympathy for that rewriting part. Like, I don't think we should be wiping out the history of white Americans. They've done an incredible amount of things in the world, and a lot of progress around the world has been due to American. I'm going to just disagree with one other thing you said. America is a great country. America is the most incredible country, and its foundations are built on the best values you can possibly imagine. The idea that, government is for the people, by the people. This is the nicest thing you could possibly imagine. The shirking off of colonialism, the shirking off of the aristocracy, the ability for anybody, no matter who you are, to rise up to the very top and rule the country. Those are the most incredible, beautiful things the world has ever been given by any country. I think it's remarkable what America has done in terms of that. Now,
how's that going?
It hasn't always been a success. That's the asterisk. Occasionally they've faltered.
You can agree with me all you want. Reality is here, sir. Yes.
And, and sometimes mistakes have been made and things needed to change and they didn't change. And sometimes mistakes were made again and again and again, and still things didn't change. And that has led us to where we are now. But, that's the price we're going to be paying, I guess, in the future. But to say that America is a lie is not true. America's idea, and it's a great idea, it deserves all the time we can give it because it's the best idea we have in the world. And if everyone in the world looks up to America, partly because of the opportunities, but partly because of the freedom that opportunity gives us. So, I don't think
that opportunity. Well, hang on. That opportunity. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Nice story. Disagree. That opportunity when it comes to advancing according to class here in Canada, you have a 40% greater chance of moving out of the class that you're in into a different class in Canada than you do in the United States. So that is a myth. Canada is the freest country in the world. Canada is the greatest idea in the world. The United States was predicated on that. And over time, some really, really rich people were like, well, let's just keep telling people that. And let's just keep fucking them.
No.
Let's keep fucking them and fucking them and fucking them and fucking them to the point where they're like, are we getting fucked? And you're like, no, everything's great. Everything's great. Trump wiped out $3 trillion from your economy yesterday, started a war with a bunch of fucking psychos in the Middle East. He can't stop. Gas is $6 a gallon. Eggs are like, probably twice as much as they were last week when we were talking about eggs. No one's talking about eggs anymore. Oh, by the way, like you don't have any due diligence. You've got no personal, fundamental, basic human freedoms anymore. At all. I mean, people are getting shot in the head in the middle of the fucking street for saying I don't consent, like executed. People are getting picked up.
Okay. So these things are terrible, but they're happening because why are they happening? Because he was installed by foreign governments trying to destroy America.
But that is the land that made that all fucking possible, and it is all through
to say
greed.
That Canada is somehow the best country in the world because
it is.
It's achieved these data entry points, and you can say these are successful things. That isn't necessarily true because, firstly, they did it on the back of America. America's success, it's really easy to be as successful as Canada is if you've got America to yourself, this booming economy that you could be their number one trading partner with and, basically survive just by giving a discount on the dollar. It's easy to be, we can be the smarter, more cool people because we don't have to build weapons because America builds all our weapons and America can protect us.
You do know why that is the case, though, right? You do know
I know
why.
that the Americans wanted it to be the case, but it turned out to be a good deal for a while.
It's a terrible deal.
Canadians.
Look at us now. It's a fucking awful deal. No. Back in 1959, the United States government saw that we made this thing called the Avro Arrow, the world's greatest supersonic jet fighter, and they're like, by the way, throw that. Throw that fucking thing in the lake right now. We can't let anybody see it. We'll protect you. Don't worry. And you know what Canada did? Which I'm still pissed off about, even though it was born in 73 and this was in 59. We did it. And we fucked ourselves because America's like, don't worry, we'll take care of you. Well, the founding fathers didn't actually plan for like Donald Trump to come along and go, I can see everything I can take advantage of here, like it's in binary, like it's the Matrix. Canada's one of them. So he's driving a bus through that whole fucking, we get nothing from you. We do everything from you. Maybe we'll just let you fight on your own. And I'm like, the fucking Avro Arrow. It's
all the Avro Arrow's fault. I've lived in both the United States, I've lived in Canada. And, you can make it more in the United States as an individual than you can in Canada. Canada is grounded by your microphone's off. It's grounded by the ideas of, agreement and community and what's best for the team. As an individual who cares about themselves, more than they do. And I'm not saying I do, but as every individual likes to think about themselves and be selfish. You know, you can't make it as big in Canada as you can in America. I think that's still true because of the nature of the system. Canada's
it's because they have 10 times the population
families.
Of us,
yeah, but it's got these families that control everything, and you need their say so. It's very feudalistic in some ways. America, if you've got a good idea, you arrive no matter where you're from. People will hear you out. If you succeed, you'll go all the way to the top. If you fail, they'll kill you. But it's just the nature of the beast there. You know, it's a Shark Tank. That doesn't happen in Canada. You don't necessarily die if you fail, but you actually get promoted. But, you know, in Canada, it's just that kind of vibe. In America, you succeed if you want to succeed.
Yeah. And listen, I'll tell you that much is true. That I agree with. In America, they embrace people. They embrace stars. If you can help me get to where I need to go, I'll embrace you. But here in Canada, we don't like big stars. We don't like people that outshine the institutions. We do not like people that outshine the actual brand. And so what happens is when you become bigger than the brand, they're like, oh, no, we don't. In the United States, if they can attach their hook to the comet of your fucking personality, they will. And when that's over, though, you're fucked. Like, you're super fucked. In Canada, they'll be like, yeah, we'll take you back, I guess. But to your point, yeah, red tape, bureaucracy, Canada's shit for that. Like, I'm doing business with some patriots in the United States. Patriots, like real people who fucking hate Donald Trump. It's a long story. I don't need to go into it. But I'm amazed at the speed that they work at. I'm like, oh my, they're like, yeah, let's just do this. Let's just do that. Let's do this. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do this.
That's America. That's what you can do in America.
And that's what I love about America. But all the other stuff that we just pointed out, the fact that it is kind of built on this weird sim of freedom when it is not a free country, specifically now. And going back to the Columbus thing, where it's like, yeah, let's just tell people that Chris found the place. Like, that's just the white guys.
It is built on freedom. It is ultimately. It's the only country that has the people.
To be.
Well, it can get back to it. You know, it just needs a reset of some sort. Now, the number 2 story on the countdown, which is again a second number 2 story, getting a bonus here. There's just this Jesus moment from today's event. Donald Trump was at a Tennessee event. I guess he was doing some sort of Tennessee thing with Pam Bondi was there. Pete Hegseth was there. I'm not quite sure what they were addressing. But in the middle of this, he throws this clanger about the SAVE Act, which is the act that is going to transform voting in America going forward if it gets passed by the Senate. And here's what he says to senators, which just blew me away. Oh my gosh, it's not going to play now. I'm going to quit. Here, let's try this. There we go.
For 4 years, this guy that should have never been president. So I'm tying Homeland Security into voter identification with picture and proof of citizenship in order to vote. And those 2 items are the most important thing having to do with Homeland Security. So it should be part of the Homeland Security bill. And I'm requesting that the Republican senators do that immediately. You don't have to take a fast vote. Don't worry about Easter going home. In fact, make this one for Jesus, okay? Make this one for Jesus. That's what I tell them. It would be a damn good thing. The most important part of Homeland Security is voter ID and proof of citizenship. Nobody can vote on Homeland Security without voter ID or proof.
So do it for Jesus, Dean. That's the only way to get it done. I don't know.
You want to get my attention?
Yeah.
Folks, if you really want to get my attention, tell a group of people that they have to do it for Jesus.
Yeah.
You got my attention.
I mean, yeah. Tell us about that.
Well, I grew up in that, right? I mean, when you're out of answers, like when you're in the evangelical faith, or you're dealing with a huckster in the evangelical faith, someone who's like, what a fucking great racket this is. I can do all kinds of shit to these people. I can lie to them. They have to give me 10% of everything that they make. It's in the Bible, by the way. Evangelicals have to give you 10% of everything they make if you're the leader of their flock, or else they're sinning. And I can mistreat them, steal their money, do all kinds of terrible things to them. And at the end of the day, I get to tell them that everything that you do that's bad in this life, all you got to do is ask Jesus for forgiveness before you go to bed, and you're clean again. You're good. You're washed. You're brand new. So you can go to bed a perfect human being, and you get up the next morning, you're perfect again. So you can commit all kinds of sin. Just make sure you say the sinner's prayer. Number 1. That's really important in the evangelical faith. Number 1. Number 2, Anytime you run out of any fucking congruent answers that any from that faith asks you, or anytime you need them to do something, anytime you tell them it's their God-given duty, God-breathed duty. Jesus died for you so you could pass the SAVE Act.
No, it's true. This is what he's doing.
Jesus died for you. Do this for Jesus. Help me stay in power. Help me steal the election. Help me oppress 120 million Americans and their ability to vote on this Easter weekend.
Yeah.
It's what Jesus would want. That's how the fucking cult works.
He couldn't even keep his mouth straight, his face straight there. He was laughing as he was saying that because he knows that he's misusing Jesus's name. I mean, the idea that Jesus would have endorsed anything Donald Trump is doing around the world is nonsensical. I mean, it's just so stupid.
Like if he did come back, like folks, listen, if you are a believer, and look away because I'm going to make you not believe. It's like, but if he did come back and if this guy did it, because this is what they believe, right? With the Iran war. Yeah. That the Iran war, they're going to light a magic candle in Tehran, and that'll signal back to Israel that it's okay to build on the Temple of the Mount. You can get rid of all the dirty Muslims. That's what they believe. That's the end times goal. And then 1,000 years, it's really uplifting shit, folks, from the book of Revelation. And for the next 1,000 of years, Jesus and the devil are going to fight on earth, and it's going to be uninhabitable for people like us. But here's the good news. Here's the great news. Guys like Trump, or if you voted for Trump or you vote for the SAVE Act, you're going to go to heaven before all hell breaks loose on this earthly fold. So you're going to be cool. Everybody else is deeply and dearly fucked, though. That's really
basically saying, you white people, we're going to try to save you. We're going to save you because of Jesus. The rest of you are fucked. You know, this is the last hope and prayer that he has. He has no policy ideas. He has no data on his side. He's got an economy that's tanking. And he's got the number one story in the countdown today, which is all about the Iran war. Clearly the biggest story in the world right now. Trump's 48-hour ultimatum to Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or they're going to hit this power grid, this massive power grid, expired today. But there were no strikes. Instead of military action, Trump posted about very good and productive conversations with Tehran.
A great day.
Yeah. Well, did those actually take place? Nobody knows, because the Iranian foreign ministry responded saying there is no dialogue between Tehran and Washington. Amman says it's mediating, but there's no confirmation from either side on specifics. So these are, as best we could tell, either imagined talks in the president's minds, delusions of some sort, or they're secret talks that are taking place that we don't know about. Or, I don't know, maybe they're just ghost talks. We have no other idea of what's going on. We've got two clips to play. You lead us into them.
Yeah. First of all, this is awesome. This is the best I've seen Trump.
You mean the Jesus moment, wasn't it?
I think nope, not even close. And it was fucked.
Yeah.
Everybody, you remember the timeline, right? Remember the timeline last week? He's like, nobody's coming to help me. Fuck you, you cowards. Fuck the UK. Fuck France. Fuck Canada. Fuck all y'all. I'm going to go it alone. Then he's like, you guys really should come and help, though. Like, super bad, because I'm out of ammo. And then they're like, we'll help when it's over. Like, we'll get safe passage for that's the predication for any allied help. So, like, when you're done dropping your whatever you got left, like, just let us know. Yeah. We'll provide, because we don't want to get shot at in this process, right? We don't want to sacrifice people for your stupid fucking Operation Epstein war. So he's like, you know what? That's not good enough. Fuck you again. So he launches he launches a tweet last week, which was truly incredible, that if Iran doesn't fully open without threat, the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours, from this exact point in time, United States of America will hit and obliterate, for the sixth time I counted, by the way, that was the sixth obliteration.
He likes the word. It's the word.
We'll obliterate various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Well, to your point, that time came and went, and this morning he's getting on a flight to, I think it was Memphis, is that correct? Where he just gave that incredible speech about Jesus.
Tennessee, yeah.
Oh, sweet Jesus. You can do it for Jesus, guys. Pass this for me for Jesus. Fucking wild. Where he puts out this is this morning at 7:23 in the morning. I am, all caps, I am pleased to report the United States of America and the country of Iran have had over the past 2 days very good and productive conversations regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East. Based on the tenor and the tone of these in-depth, detailed, and constructive conversations, remember those words, which will continue throughout the week. I've instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against the Iranian power plant and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period, subject to the success of the ongoing meetings and discussions. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Beautiful, tremendous, lovely.
He said so it must be true.
Except there's a problem. There's a problem. Those talks never happened. Those meetings never took place. There wasn't a phone call. There wasn't a WhatsApp. Not even a fucking email. It's like, hey, dude, you know, get back to me. No,
there is a mediation going on, so maybe it's in the
there
mediation.
Is now.
Yeah,
which is the purpose of sending that out. He fucking failed. He backed out. He completely fucking caved. There are 2 clips. I don't know if you have them. Do you have a Trump clip, and then you've got a clip of like a military? Hey,
I've got the Whitcup one, and then I've got the IRGC guy. IGRC
here. This is the best part of the story. Hey,
Pepper wants a walk.
God, she really does. Anyway, so let me just quickly. Hang on one second, because the story gets really good.
You go do that. I'll talk about some other things. It is. Just to be clear, there might be talks going on. We just don't know anything about them. The Iranians might have actually had talks with, and the spokesman for the foreign ministry may not have known that there were talks. It is possible that all of this is going on at the same time, but it's
none of that is going on at the same time. None of that is happening at the same time. Here's what's happening in real time. Okay, Donald Trump made the whole fucking thing up because he caved, because people around him were like, if you hammer Iran's energy infrastructure, they're going to hit the desalination plants and you're going to kill millions of people in the Gulf states. That's what they're going to do. And he's like, oh, I know what to do. I'll make up a meeting that never happened.
Surrender.
So he then, I want you to, because he's asked for details, which is something that this regime is bad with when they lie, because there are no details that come from a lie. So he was asked, like, who led the negotiations? Let's watch this clip.
Speaking with Mr. President. A top person. Don't forget, we've wiped out the leadership phase 1, phase 2, and largely phase 3. But we're dealing with the man who I believe is the most respected and the leader. It's a little tough. We've wiped out everybody.
Is that the Supreme Leader?
No, not the Supreme Leader. We don't. Well, nobody heard of the second Supreme Leader, the Son. We have not heard from the Son. Every once in a while you see a statement made, but we haven't. We don't know if he's living. But the people that seem to be running it, and they seem that based on really fact, because things they've said have taken place.
Mr. President,
again.
Mr. President, I know you deployed.
Because I don't want him to be killed. Okay, I don't want him to be killed.
Mr. President, you deployed.
Nobody wants to be that. Nobody wants that job right now. You know, nobody's exactly looking forward to being the head of that particular country. But perhaps we'll be able to solve that problem.
Mr. President,
Are you enjoying this as much as I am? Are you enjoying the? So who was it you talked to in the Iranian regime? Someone at the top. Okay, so you have a name?
It could be.
Nope, not giving
It's
a
not
name
happening.
because we
happening.
killed a lot of people. Steve talked to him. Don't want him to die too. And there was another clip shortly after that. They're like, so you can't give us a name, huh? He's like, yeah, maybe in a couple weeks you'll find out. It is a lie. It is all this fucking fantastic lie. This is his off-ramp. He had 2 choices. Fucking bomb the shit out of Iran, bomb all the energy infrastructure for civilians, the entire power grid, which he said he was going to do, or this. He chose this, but it's in the narrative that he makes up, right? Yeah.
So can you imagine being in the White House right now where they are like frantically trying to find anyone they can talk to in Iran to ended a war that was a stupid war, a war that you should never have started, that could potentially cost America billions of dollars and send us into a forever war in the Middle East involving the entire region. Imagine being that guy who started all of that and then not being able to find a single person to talk to in Iran in order to try and back away from it. So
they don't want to talk, dude. Iran wants to just blow shit up. Like, fuck, if we die, we go to heaven with Allah. We don't care. And Trump's
also,
like, woo,
nothing to lose much now.
I wasn't planning for that.
What a mess.
I wasn't planning for holy war for real. And then he's taking a page out of their book today. He's like, guys, do it for Jesus. Look at those psychos over there.
And then he sends Witkoff. And Witkoff is a Russian asset at best. It may be a full-on Russian employee for all we know. Witkoff is not the kind of person who's been trusted in previous talks with Iran or anywhere else. He started this war essentially by misquoting the Iranians. You know, the Iranians were prepared to stop their nuclear enrichment, but Witkoff misrelayed that to the White House, which is why at least that's what they say, they started this war. So Witkoff being sent in is like sending Putin's like puppet into the scene to try and solve America's problem. It's not going to happen because Putin's loving this. He's getting as much money as he can. Gets millions of dollars in additional revenue every day from oil. Why do it? Why solve this war for Donald Trump? It doesn't serve his purposes.
No, it doesn't. And you know what? This is his way of telling everybody that he won when he lost, right? Like, you know, I hate sore losers. Donald Trump's the sorest winner in the history of winning. So never expect him to lose gracefully, graciously. Never expect him to say, yeah, my bad. You know, I got over my skis. Probably shouldn't have gone in. I mean, it's not like regimes have ever done that in the past, specifically American regimes. I mean, George Bush still hasn't apologized for what he did to Iraq, for God's sakes, and Afghanistan. And we know about that military adventurism. And we have conversations with people who were supportive of it, who now cannot stand what's going on with Donald Trump, what is going on in Iran. But at the very least, you know, they had a predication of how deadly and dangerous, you know, the people of Iraq were, how dangerous Saddam Hussein was. They just finished kicking his ass in Kuwait because they just was like, yeah, let's go attack Kuwait. So they had like a story they could tell. There is no story here they can tell. Iran's not going to attack the United States. We now know completely that they were defunct. They don't have a nuclear weapon. They don't have weapons-grade uranium that they can just turn into a bomb in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. They don't have ICBMs that can reach mainland United States of America. So all of that is predicated on a lie. And we know that. And that's kind of the beauty of the internet now, is that, like, you know, Donald Trump is fighting everybody's knowledge that they now have that he's full of shit. And now he's, you know, on the verge of sending 8,000 U.S. troops, men and women in uniform, to a kill island, a kill box. That's what the Strait of Hormuz is. It is set up as an Iranian kill box.
Yeah, it's the most dangerous place on earth right now,
without question. And so he had a decision to make, and that decision was, okay, guys, I'm going to invent a fucking great story here that makes me look like I won, and we can slowly withdraw and tell everybody we're negotiating. And after I make this announcement, and it's manifest destiny for guys like him, right? Like guys like him, they'll just engineer this with a true social post, and then all of a sudden the phone starts to pick up because someone in the IGRC is like, oh, I think Trump wants to quit. Yeah. But the IGRC did respond. Yeah. And I have this video to play. It's hard to understand the English, but he rips Donald Trump off of The Apprentice. This is after Donald Trump's like, we had great negotiations that never happened. This is the Iranian regime's very fucking funny response.
Here we go.
Fired. You are familiar with this sentence. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The central headquarters of Khatam al-Anbiya.
Oh, I gotta hear that again. That was really funny.
Taram, you are fired. You are familiar with this sentence. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The central headquarters of Khatam al-Anbiya.
Yeah. He's like, you're fired, dude. We're coming for you and your family.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make it up. I mean, he's ripping off the whole thing with the thank you for your attention. What is that douchebaggy thing that Trump does at the end of every tweet? This like real douchey, thank you for your attention to this matter. I am the king. I am the king. RGC responds, you're fired. Oh.
I mean, war is hell, as long as you're not in it. and we can
Right.
laugh about it when it comes
Yeah.
to this kind of stuff. And folks, you have to. Like, I mean, you know, we're talking about some serious shit, but the good news is that the emperor has no clothes, no ammunition, and now he's got no desire to fight the Iranians because he knows what he can lose. He must really, really want to keep his hands on that Qatari jet, too. That's all I keep thinking about.
He must. What a show today. We've had Barry
fun.
Manilow. We've had Celine Dion. We've had Jesus Christ. Now we have the RGC guy. You know,
I thought Jesus Christ was Manilow to you.
almost. He's 82. You know, he just beat lung cancer. It's really a remarkable story. And the new album is called What a Time. Oh, sorry, that might be Celine. No, I think it's his. He's going on tour. Wow, he's going on tour. It's on April the 13th.
Oh my God.
I'm going to check it
Dude.
out. Barry Manilow on tour.
Barry, if I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. If Barry Manilow goes on tour and he comes to Toronto,
Yeah.
you can go.
You're not coming with me?
Oh.
What about Celine Dion? Is she's you'll come with me for that?
No.
It'll be in the Eiffel Tower on Bastille Day, July 14th. Will be gorgeous.
No, I've been to the
That
Eiffel
concert?
Tower.
No.
And it was awesome when I was there because there was no one there. You just walk in, walk up. It's awesome.
Celine,
At the top.
Celine.
No Celine. No, too many people. No, can't do it. But have fun. Like I said, if she plays a show in Paris,
I'll be
have
there.
a great time.
I'll be there. I'll broadcast live from the foot of the Eiffel Tower. Celine Dion.
Oh, I can't wait to
What a
see the
beautiful
glow on
thing.
your face. You're
What
like,
a beautiful
I saw
thing.
Manilow and Celine. I can die now.
Oh my God, the Grammy duet from heaven would be Manilow, Celine. That would be the best thing in the world. I think we should get that on the agenda.
All right. Well, great. Thanks for everything, guys. That was a lot of fun. I had a really great time. This is where my friend Zev and I tend to disagree.
Yeah. I still love America, so there you go.
I do too.
I know you do. I know you do. DeanBundell.substack.com. What a great site it is today, full of lots of information. What do you have for us?
Paper clips, Donald Trump. Paper
Jesus.
clips. You ever hear of the paper clip? We've got Donald Trump's greatest dementia hits from the last couple of days over at DeanBlundell.substack.com. You can check that out. You can also read all about the dereliction of news duty on the Sunday morning show's Dead Air is a new feature. We just did our first podcast with Steve today. We had no idea who was hosting. So it was a bit of a jump around episode, and it was all my fault, not Steve's. Steve was great. I sucked. However, next Monday's Dead Air podcast, where we absolutely eviscerate the dereliction of media duty in the United States of America, and it was a dereliction. If your name wasn't Margaret Brennan or who's the other, Kristen Welker, they were great.
Oh, you do the whole Sunday talk show circuit.
All five of them, yeah. This
I love
week,
that.
State of the Union, we did it all. No surprise. Shannon Bream from Fox News, speaking of Jesus, selling her book the entire time, going, everything's possible with God. I swear to God, guys. I'm like, okay, this is a great show.
Do it for Jesus, everybody.
Do it for
Sign
Jesus.
up to Dean Bundell.
Do it. Sign up
Substack.com.
for Jesus. I wonder if that works. I wonder if it works with it.
Do it for Jesus,
folks.
everybody. DeanBundell.substack.com. 50% off until the end of this month or something.
Yeah.
By the way, on narrative.org, narrativ.org tonight at 6 p.m., Lev Parnas and Ellie Leonard are here. We're going to do an Epstein special it's going to blow your mind because in under an hour, if I get it all right, I'm going to be releasing The Greatest Heist, Chapter 9, Book 2, and it is a bombshell. It's actually called The Bomb, and it is mind-blowing. It's all about Howard Lutnick. So if you have a thinking for our Commerce Secretary, you might want to check it out. Maybe you ought to tell him he wants to check it out in about an hour from now on narrative.org.
Can't wait. Narrative.org. Get your subscription. Go follow Zev. Same thing with me. If you want to, that's great. Love you all. Thank you for being here. Always a pleasure to have your time today. And we've got thousands of people that show up to this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Follow Lev, follow Ellie, follow Zev, follow me, follow everybody. Whatever you do, don't follow Donald Trump, though. That's a bad idea.
And just remember, Jesus loves you. Yeah.